In the last 20 years, we have seen a massive growth in the space industry. SpaceX is making some marvelous reusable rockets, and in addition to this, Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, is ready to go to the outer world with the help of his company, Blue Origin. And to think this all started with humans wanting to know more about the unknown and uncover the mysteries of our universe. The space exploration is not going to stop anytime soon, and maybe we're going to see more discoveries in the future, and we will get to know more about what's actually out there. But looking at the past, there were many instruments which helped in the exploration of space, and one of them is the Hubble Telescope. It helped scientists explore and get to know more about the solar system. Moreover, it's also helped us to figure out the distance of the universe and much more. So, what is the Hubble Telescope? The Hubble Telescope was launched in 1990 and was the first space-based optical telescope. This telescope was built under the supervision of NASA and was placed 370 miles above the Earth's orbit. The use of the Hubble Telescope was to observe the stars, planets, and also help us understand the formation of planets and galaxies. A few years later, after its launch in 1993, scientists began to see some problems in the Hubble Telescope, but with the help of some astronauts, they helped fix the problem, which consisted of an 11-day mission to rescue the Hubble Telescope and restore its vision. Now, the idea of a telescope was proposed long before its launch, but a realistic plan was proposed in 1946 by the American Lyman Spitzer. Unfortunately, the idea was lobbied for around 30 years, when NASA and the European Space Agency proposed a telescope 3 meters long in the 1970s. Later, funding began in 1977, and that was when they decided to name it after the scientist who discovered the expansion of the universe, Edwin Powell Hubble. The initial idea was to make this telescope 3 meters long, but they ended up making it around 2.4 meters long. This project attracted many astronomers worldwide and was supposed to launch in 1986, but months before its launch, a tragic disaster took place. The disaster was known as the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, which caused a year-long delay. The telescope was finally launched in 1990, and the Hubble telescope weighs more than 24,500 pounds, meaning it weighs more than 2 African bush elephants. Despite this, the telescope only uses slightly more energy than your average hairdryer. So why is it important, and is it still working? The discovery of the Hubble telescope has revolutionized astronomy. It's also supported scientists to help get a clear picture of the universe and helped in the investigation of much space-related research. There is no doubt that the Hubble telescope is a great invention within the space industry. The Hubble telescope also helped in estimating at the rate of which the universe is expanding. The telescope was used to discover 2 moons of Pluto, Hydra and Nix. It has operated for more than 30 years and is still working to this day. The telescope has taken more than 1.5 million observations and has used this data to publish more than 18,000 peer-reviewed scientific publications. The working state of the Hubble telescope is fine. Previously, they estimated that it would work until 2016, and now it's estimated that the telescope can survive until 2030 to 2040. They did encounter some issues, and as of recently, the Hubble team has been investigating an issue that occurred with the payload computer on July 15, 2021. The purpose of the payload computer is to control and coordinate the science instruments on board the spacecraft, and it has 4 main scientific instruments, so even if 2 of them shut down, there is nothing to be worried about as it was built with a lot of redundancy. So if a single piece of hardware outperforms, then this will not necessarily stop individual instruments from working. But a question arises, what will happen if the Hubble telescope does stop working? Well, many countries are working on it and have plans to put into effect. Countries like India have an AstroSat space telescope that does UV investigations from space but with a smaller aperture. China is looking further to launch its telescope called Sanshen by 2024, and according to the state media, the telescope will observe an area of up to 300 times bigger than Hubble can. Many countries will come up with their own telescopes in the future that might be more powerful than the Hubble telescope, And the main reason for that is because technology now, it's a lot more advanced than what it was back in the 90s. There are many telescopes in space, and all of them have different functions and abilities. These telescopes have played a main role in the exploration of space, and will continue to do so in the future. The Hubble Telescope is one of the oldest telescopes ever launched and has presented many beautiful photographs that have given us a clear understanding about our universe. From the exploration of galaxies to planets, the Hubble Telescope was always the one with us and helped us a lot. Though it has been decades since its launch and it's still working today, but it cannot stay with us forever, so searching for other alternatives can help in the future. Also, the successor of the Hubble Telescope will soon be sent into space, and this is called the James Webb Telescope. The total project may cost around £7 billion, and it will help scientists to understand more about black holes. Not only that, but it will help in the study of the afterglow of the Big Bang. As of now, they will launch it in November 2021, and if everything goes well, then we can see another telescope in space.